Hey guys, it's Drew and welcome back to episode 3 of the Magic of Oz mini album series here on YouTube. And in episode 2 and in episode 1 we covered the album, and in episode 2 we did the front cover. So I will link the playlist right there where you could watch all of the videos that I've already done. And it'll keep growing as the videos keep growing, or as I keep adding more onto the YouTube account. Alrighty, so in this episode, we are going to be embellishing page 1 and page 2 of the album. And page 1, we use the Munchkin paper and the Tenderhearted Tin Man paper, so we're going to get right into embellishing the album. Okay, so what you're going to need to start off with is one of your Maya Road envelopes that you received in your kit. Mine look something like this, and they all vary. Some of them look like this, some of them look different. So whichever one you have, just stick it, it's going to be going right over here, and I suggest if you have this long skinny one to put it like that. Even though it will be popping out on the opposite side, it's not too noticeable. And plus, you guys, only 2 out of 10 people got these envelopes, so those 2 people, you could use your opposite envelope. You get 2 of them, so you could either choose from whichever one you want, and one of them will fit nicely right there. But I just happen to have this one, so it's going to be going right there on the album, or right about here. I'm not going to glue anything down yet. Okay, what you're also going to be needing is to cut out two of these little poppy flowers. And let me show you where I cut these out on my paper. I cut them out right there at the bottom. We used the bottom portion, and I cut this out for another element on one of these 2 pages. So pretend this is still a 12 by like 8 paper, but we cut off the portion of the bottom to use on one of the pages. But I just cut out 2 flowers. They were from those 2 little spots that you could choose from, whichever you want. You just need 2 flowers, basically, that have cut bottoms like this. You could do it yourself. And they're essentially going to be just going right on top of your envelope at the bottom, like that, as a bit of embellishment. Hope you could see that. And let me just zoom in, because it'd probably be a lot easier to see this page come together if it was sort of zoomed in. Okay, there we go. And what we're going to be adding onto this page is this really nice chipboard tag that you also received in your kit. It came from the chipboard set. And you're going to need about, how much is this? Oh, about 4 inches of the cording that you got in your kit. And you're just going to double it over and stick the doubled over end through the hole of the chipboard tag and pull the 2 other ends through. You guys have probably done this before. I'm just pulling some cording through my tag, and I really didn't get that even. So if you don't get it even, you could just sort of pull each one a little bit. There we go. That looks good. And you're just going to have a little bit of cording on your tag now, and that's going to be embellishing right here on your page. Okay, now we're going to start adhering things down. So when we're going to be adhering this down, you're only going to want to add glue to the back side here, here, and here. So on the back side here, here, and here. So let me go ahead and do that. So just adding adhesive right here, going down here, and along this edge here. And you're going to leave this open because we're going to be having a pocket. And you're going to glue this down right about there. And you don't need to ink the edges of this. The flap's just going to overlap just a teeny tiny bit. You could also make it, if you'd like to where the flap tucks into it, but I'm not even going to do that. And then we're going to be taking the 2 little flower embellishments, and we can add a bit of ink. Lately I've been using this dark bark. I hope you can, well, it's zoomed in right now, so. This is the Dark Bark Quick Dry Chalk Ink from Prima and Inkveld Bolme. So I love this ink. It's really great. And so I'm just going to ink around the edges of my flower. And you can kind of see the differences as if you didn't ink around the edges. Inking around the edges just makes it a little bit more completed. Okay. After you do that, you are going to use either a liquid glue, or you could just go back in with your ATG gun and just add some adhesive to the back. And I'll just grab my ATG gun here, and we are just going to add a bit of adhesive to the back side of that. And you're going to stick this down right about there, about halfway, if you can see how I just put that on there. And we're going to do the other one as well. And that's just going to go right there. So they kind of overlap each other. See how nice those look together? And then we're going to be adhering on this chipboard tag, but you're only going to be adding adhesive to the left side of the tag. So just flip it over and add adhesive just to that left side of your tag. And I'm going to add just a few strips of ATG tape. You could also, I just ripped it off completely. You could also go in with some score tape. I'll do that just because the ATG tape's kind of hard to go over the back of this coarse chipboard without having, sometimes it rips up. Even on normal chipboard it does, so. Just peeling off the back of my score tape. If I can get it off, there we go. Just like that, and I do not know why that's black, but oh well. And then we're going to be sticking this right about here on the page. And you're just going to stick that down, and that's not going to be going anywhere. That's really, well, I guess it is where I'm talking right now, but there. Now it won't be going anywhere. It's really stuck on there. Okay, and you could easily open up your envelope if you'd like to, and add some tags or photos or embellishment or whatever you want to do on the inside there. But for now, we're just going to leave ours empty. And we're going to be doing a bit more embellishing. You're going to need to cut out one of these Magic of Oz tags. And this comes from the paper with all of the different cards on it. Let me see if I can find it here. Here we go. You can see it has all these different cards on it. This one is Journey to Oz. The paper is called Journey to Oz. And see how there's a Magic of Oz one there? There was another one right there. So just cut this out, and we're going to ink around the edges using our Dark Bark Fluid Chalk Edger. And you could do both sides, because the back side's perfect for adding a photo onto. And then the front side's a nice touch of, like, sort of ephemera looking kind of piece. And that's going to be the first tag that's going to slip behind everything. See how that's just a nice tag that goes in there? And also, you're going to grab the doily that looks like this. You all get a full pack of doilies, so all the doilies that I use, you'll have also. So you're going to grab one that looks like this, and I'm not even going to ink around the edges. I'm just going to leave it like that, and that just slips behind there as well. Let's see how it doesn't come out at all. And last but not least, you're going to need to cut a piece of the Munchkins paper, the same paper that we used on the background there. It's called Munchkins. You're going to need to cut it down to 4 1/4 by 2 1/4. So a 4 1/4 by 2 1/4 inch piece, and we're going to be using this side. Then you're just going to take a pair of scissors and just tick it off those edges. Or not tick it, but just cut off the corners like that, and then you could use the other one and line it up and cut off the opposite corner as well. So see how we have a tag shaped now? I probably cut off a bit too much, but that's alright. And we're going to ink around those edges. Just like that. And I actually forgot to grab the embellishment that goes on top of there, but you're going to need to grab this chipboard piece here with a little button sort of witch's shoe type thing, and you're just going to pop out those little holes, and you're going to thread your seam binding through it. And let me show you what I mean by that. See, this is the original tag that I made. You're just going to thread seam binding through it and stick it to the top of the tag here. That's all you're going to do. So I'm not even going to do that on camera. It's really simple. And then that's going to stick back there. So that is page 1, you guys. See how simple that was? It really adds a great embellishment. You have tons of room for photos. You could pull this tag out, add a photo on the front side, add a photo on the back side. This can have a photo on the back side. This has a perfect spot for journaling on the back side of there. And you could also add more stuff in there. So, now we're going to go straight into page 2 of the album. There we go. Moving over to page 2. Page 2 is really simple as well, and it allows for a large spot for photo. Okay, so you're going to need to cut a piece of this one's called Parcel Post, and you're going to want to cut this to 4 3/4 by 3 3/4. So, again, 4 3/4 by 3 3/4, and it's going to be going right on there, and it's a really nice green striped paper. And then you're going to want to cut this to 3 1/2 by 4 1/2, and this is the Poppy Parade paper. And I'm going to adhere the poppy side down, and I'm not going to add ink onto this side just because the other side's super dark. You're not even going to really be able to see the ink, but if you want to add ink, you totally can. And I'm just going to adhere this down. This is going to act as a photo mat. So, taking our green cardstock, and I am going to simply center this on there, just like that. So yeah, we have a nice photo mat now for adding photos. And I'm going to ink along those edges using our brown Dark Bark Fluid Chalk Edger. Okay. And then this is going to be adhered onto the page right about like this. The corners are going to just be like that. It's going to be catty corner kind of. And also for embellishment on this page, you're going to need to cut out this piece here. This says Ruby Gloss on it, and it comes from your Goblin Gazette paper. See this right here? It comes right out of that slot. So I just sort of cut it out from there. It was right there, and I just cut it out. We're going to be actually layering this behind, so it looks something like that now. So a bit of layering there. And our last layer features this little shoe compass, which comes from this paper right here. As you can see, I cut it out right there on the paper, and this one is called The Magic of Oz, and this is what that looks like. And that's going to be aligning along this corner here. So just stick this directly along that corner and place it down. And you could either leave it open, which is what I do, so you could even go back and add very own tags. So just adhere these two edges down, and you have spots for tags to stick in there. And also, you have a nice room for photo mat there, but you're going to adhere everything down just like how I show you. And don't forget to ink around the edges of that Ruby Gloss embellishment type piece there. And then we're going to add a bit of embellishment using this chipboard shape from the chipboard die cut pack that you get. It's an orange flower. It's going to be going right there on your page. And we're also going to be using this really nice little ghost image that was cut out from the this ghost paper, which is the back side of the paper with all the cards on it, and that is called Journey to Oz. And just cut out one of those little ghost images, and that is going to be going right on top of the flower, sort of layering on top of the flower. And you're going to be adding a bow. Now, I didn't tie my bow too well, but you're going to use your cording and just tie a simple bow. There's nothing much to it, just like this. See how I just kind of tied a bow, but mine's kind of twisting in the wrong direction. And it's going to be going on the center of your flower, so it looks something like that now, so if you could tell what I did there. And last but not least, to finish off this page, you're going to add one of your Prima red roses right there. And that finishes off page 2. So just glue everything down as I have shown you here, and then you're going to have page 1 with everything tucked into this fun little pocket here. And don't forget to simply thread your seam binding through here and attach it on to the top of your tag, and it adds a great little addition. So again, you guys, that was page 1 and 2 of the Magic of Oz album. Let me just show you the finished album, just so you could see the exact resemblance of it. Here's page 1, perfect resemblance of that one, and there is page 2. Okay, you guys, so I will see you back in episode 4 for pages 3 and 4. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I will catch you all next time. Bye, everyone.